Trust what you say and that it's all okay. But everything starts to feel like a con, and I'm the pawn. Am I right or wrong?
Now for this last episode of Knock On, it's going to be called Bail and Backstraps, because we're going to have several hunts from the bail blinds. But the best one of all is my wife Sharon's whitetail hunt, because this is one of the most hard-earned deer I've ever known about. She's put in over 700 hours and several years to finally get her first shot at a whitetail buck, and she could not have picked a better buck to have that opportunity with than the buck that we called HalfRack. And I'm sure most of you throughout this season has seen that giant buck on the Hoyt Element commercial, and that is HalfRack. So before I go, I want to say thanks to all you guys who have supported us and who tuned in for this second season of Knock On, because without you, we wouldn't be here. So thank you once again, and enjoy the last show of the season.
Initializing connection. Loading contact. Selecting field equipment. Equipment selected. Targeting destination.
Now we're going to join my good friend Dustin as he goes after his first buck on film. Unfortunately, Dustin had shot a giant buck during the early season, but his camera guy did not hit the record button, and he was super bummed about it. All he got was the recovery, and it was a great buck, but he didn't get it on film. And my buddy Dustin is just another perfect example of just great people that I've met throughout all my archery endeavors. You know, if it wasn't for being a bow hunter and being an archer, there's just so many great people that I would have never got to meet. And congratulations to Dustin. This was a great hunt, and he sure does help me a whole bunch here in my hometown.
was good, wasn't it? That was perfect hit. Oh, baby, late season here in Iowa. Me and Dud here. Just, yes, shot a nice 9-pointer. I'm pumped.
Be sure to visit knockonarchery.com to see our entire line of Knock On lifestyle clothing, as well as some awesome Knock On gear and accessories that I personally take to the field myself. Enter promo code SHOWFAN and I'll include a free signed photo. Also remember that all U.S. orders over 100 get free shipping. knockonarchery.com.
Look.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome.
That sucker gave you a run for his money.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. What a great buck, Dustin.
Yes, he is. It's been a long time coming. It's been a dream of mine to get one on film, and gotta thank you, man. Dud is an awesome dude. Tell you that right now. Just
Let me see him. We got a. That thing came strutting in. Strutting in, nose down. Came in to check out a lady late season.
yep.
You definitely shot him through the heart, dude.
I was gonna say perfect shot. Perfect.
He's red facing it.
I can say thanks to you on that too, helping me with my shooting technique.
Yeah, we did. Got you straightened out with your anchor.
Yep.
Got you adjusted. No thumb behind the neck.
Tell you what, this carbon white is the thing. It is an awesome, awesome bow.
I love that tine right there.
Yeah, got it.
The crooked main beam right there. What a cool buck.
Awesome, dude.
Late
Awesome.
season, it's cold, it's bitter.
Just tells you if you have the food, they'll be there.
Good
Awesome.
point.
Awesome.
Face him at us one more time. Nose down. What a sweet buck, dude. Let's go prop him up and.
Get some pictures.
Yep. Wow. Great deer.
Knock on.
Congratulations, Dustin.
Thank you, Dud.
Well earned.
Awesome.
Go grab a hold of that. That's your boy right there. That is
Yeah.
a dandy rub.
Yes, it is. Real nice.
You did your part. You're saving trees. Saving trees.
Yep.
Field Recon.
This pellet is really designed to put weight right back on the animals after they've come out of a really hard rut, a lot of running around in a hard winter. Luckily, this winter right now is mild, so we don't have that problem. And again, I'm not only trying to give the nutrition to the animals, I'm also taking this time to get a lot of photos of the bucks that made it through the season. So this is going to be my first process. I'm probably also going to start doing some mineral licks here closer to summer. If you want to provide some type of an attractant to get a lot more pictures in front of cameras where you're maybe not putting down a total protein source, like this product, the Acorn Crush, is more of just a pure attractant, which works really good for getting a lot of pictures in front of the cameras. So put your food down, get your cameras out, take inventory, and I promise you're going to be super, super happy with that. If you're looking to learn more about archery, be sure to tune in to Knock On Podcasts. Knock On Podcasts is a weekly talk show where I get in-depth with shooting techniques, equipment setup, and also give you a no BS review on some of the latest industry gear. Knock On Podcasts are great for listening on a road trip or that dreaded ride into work. Expand your archery knowledge with the highest level of world-class information on the airwaves. Knock On Podcasts.
Well, this is it. This is our setup. We just love these bail blinds. We've had them a couple of years now, and deer just seem to have no idea that you're in there. So we're on a food source. There's cold front moving in, so we're hopeful that we're in a good spot. So wish me luck.
This giant whitetail should be no stranger to all of you out there who have watched the Hoyt Element commercial during this entire season, because this buck, a buck that we called HalfRack, made just the perfect ending to such a Cinderella story. You see, this particular day had pushed Sharon over the 700th hour spent chasing her first whitetail with her bow. Now, HalfRack was one buck that was no stranger to her, because he had been in front of her many times the year before, but she had elected not to take him because half of his rack got broke off one day during a fight. And what makes that such a bummer is that I had encountered this buck several times one morning in a cornfield, and I had called Sharon and told her there was a great buck in the area on a doe and she needed to get in a stand quick. And she came, we waited several hours, and sure enough, he shows himself right behind us in a field. But if you can believe it, at some point during that time and during that fight, he broke off half of his rack. During this night, when we were waiting to see our first deer, Sharon and I were reflecting back on just how amazing our past year had been for the bucks that we had taken, and we had also got on the topic of the one buck that we had not encountered the whole season, the whole rut, was HalfRack, and he's a buck that we had so many pictures of during the summer. He was actually our most frequent customer to the Rack 1. He was there every single day. And as soon as season opened, he did what most giant whitetails do, and that's completely disappear. And sure enough, we were sitting in the blind saying, you know, that we had shot a lot of the bucks that were on our hit list, and that the one buck we didn't see was HalfRack, and how amazing would it be if she was able to get a shot at HalfRack. And I kid you not, no soon as we're done talking about that, I peek out the small window on the side of the blind, and there he was. And he ended up coming in and spending over 20 minutes at 19.7 yards directly in front of my shooting window. But if you could believe it, all Sharon could see from her window was his rack. And every minute that ticked by and this big buck was under 20 yards, I thought it wasn't going to happen. But once again, everything happens for a reason, and maybe us having to wait that long for Sharon's shot was just God's way of telling us to enjoy the moment and enjoy the time together. Because times like these don't happen very often, and when they do, you should truly cherish them. Yes.
A little bit back, a little bit back. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Just shot a giant. Just shot a world-class white-tailed baby.
I'm really shaking. My legs are shaking so much, I'm so nervous.
You're a little bit far back. Sorry you had to hold so long.
Dead center.
All right. Now this is a tuning method that I call the hill. It's a method I've written on many times, and it's basically a method that tells you whether or not your arrow is perfectly spined for the bow that you're shooting. And a lot of people say that you should tune your bow, and I disagree with that statement. I believe that you set up your bow and that you tune your arrows, okay? Because your arrow spine directly affects how your arrows actually group. And this test, the hill method, is basically a simple way of adjusting the poundage on your bow, which in turn stiffens or weakens your arrow shaft, because the more weight you increase on your bow, the more flex you're going to have in your arrow, or the weaker you are making your arrow. The opposite of that is the more weight you take away from your bow, or the less poundage that you shoot, the stiffer that arrow spine will be for the bow that you're shooting. So what I did here was I've shot 3 different groups, okay? Each one of these groups represents a different poundage on my bow. And The rule of thumb is 3 pounds up or 3 pounds down is virtually like shooting 1 spine size difference in arrow shaft, either above or below. So for this particular shaft, I know right now this is the poundage that I've already tuned these arrows to match the bow, and this is the best that this bow is going to shoot right here at 40 yards. Okay, then this group down here is the result of me reducing my bow weight 3 pounds, and what you can see is that my hill, or my horizontal impact line, is much wider across than it was when my poundage is optimal. Okay, and also in this situation here on the top, I've increased my poundage to 3 pounds higher than what I know that I need, and my bow again shoots a much wider group than it does if it's set correctly. Now for you at home, what you may find is you may go out and find that you might be shooting like this right now with the poundage that you're shooting. You might shoot down there and you have a pretty wide grouping across. Then once you change your poundage either high or low, then you might see your groupings just continually get tighter and tighter and tighter. And what you'll want to do is, say you increase your weight and you see immediately that your arrows are getting tighter together, just keep increasing that weight until your arrows then start to go back out again, and then you'll know that you've gone too far. So you're going to find a sweet spot, and if by chance the weight that you end up going to is too much for you, well, at least you know that the arrows that you're shooting currently at your comfortable weight are too stiff for you, and then you could just buy some arrows that are weaker that match your comfortable poundage better. So this is an easy test, 3 pounds up, 3 pounds down, and you're going to find that your arrow left to right margin is going to change immediately. The last thing is, an easy way to plot this is right here. I've done all 3 on one target just so that you can see these results. But if I'm doing it myself, a lot of times I'll just get a brand new paper plate, put a dot in the middle, shoot 6 arrows down there, pull all the arrows out, change my weight, put a new paper plate up there, shoot 6 arrows down there again, and again I'll see, I can literally look at one plate that says 70 pounds, one plate that says 73, one plate that says 67, and it's really easy to just look at my holes and know exactly what poundage is matched best to tune my arrows. The hill method, it's easy and it definitely works.
Last night was just an amazing hunt. So much fun, but so nerve-wracking. John and I figured out that I've probably spent over 700 hours just waiting for an opportunity to shoot at a whitetail. So when last night finally happened and there was bucks everywhere, and I mean, I had 3-4 different chances to shoot at a buck, but it was just not right with the shot angle, and it just didn't give me that opportunity. So when HalfRack finally came in, I was sat there for 20 minutes just pulling back and letting down, and I was so nervous. So when I finally got my shot, I did shoot him further back than I wanted to, and we walked till we found my arrow, which looks really good. So hopefully we won't have any problems, but we just didn't want to take any chances and risk jumping him, so we decided to leave him be overnight, and we've come back first thing this morning, and we're gonna pick up where we left off and see if we can find him. Here he is, propped up in all his glory. What an amazing buck. Thankfully he really didn't go far at all. This is a buck that we named HalfRack because last year he would literally be the only buck that I would see, you know, after just putting in hours and endless hours. Out would step this buck with just half of his rack, and every time we would say, oh, it's HalfRack again, and thankfully we let him be, and he just 1 year later turned into an amazing buck. It's just more than I ever could have dreamed of. And I just want to say to everyone out there, if you're feeling discouraged and putting a lot of time in and not seeing anything, you know, just know that it will happen. You know, some people go out and it happens the first time, and others take years and years before they even, you know, see a buck like this. And you know, it took me a long time, and it was worth every hour that I didn't see something, and every time I complained about how cold my feet were.
That's for sure.
I would take those frozen toes anytime, you know, to achieve this, and I'm just so grateful. And HalfRack made my dreams come true. Thanks, buddy.